the last installation of my 350 palette. This is the most dramatic look that I can come up with. Actually, there's some more that I can come up with on that palette. That palette's awesome. After using it for this long, I totally think that it's worth the money. I think it's worth the hype too. And the price, like, you really can't beat it. So at this point, you just have to decide whose coupon code you have to use. I don't have one or anything. But yeah, with this one, I wanted to make sure it was super dramatic, bigger lashes, smoked out eye, nude lip, and fun hair. So if you want to see how I do it, then keep watching.
Please excuse the fact that I forgot to film this part. Well, I thought I was filming, it just wasn't recording. I'm using this paint pot to kind of just act as a base for all the rest of the eyeshadows that I'm using afterwards. Originally, I was just going to use this paint pot from Maybelline, but it kind of grew and grew into a Morphe look. Okay, now I'm just going in with my Hoola bronzer. With this kind of base, you can totally spread it with your fingers. I always find it a little bit easier to spread it with my fingers, especially if I didn't use my brush right away. Anywho, now I'm blending it with my Hoola bronzer up into the crease. Some of this might disappear anyways with some colors I'm going to be placing on top of it. Now, really quickly, I'm going to be lining my upper eyeliner. This is so uncomfortable for me, but it has to be done, especially with the lashes and the look that I'm trying to go for. So just take your time with lining the upper lash. It really does complete the look, especially if you curl your lashes. It makes a difference. Now I'm going in with this particular color. I saw this color was laying on my table and it looked just like the 24-hour color tattoo. It was just an eyeshadow form. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And I layered it on top and then it blended out even better because it did have like a brown base, so it was pretty much a really great transition color. Now I'm using this kind of coppery bronzy color and I'm using my finger just to kind of swipe it so it's nice and foiled onto the ball of my eyeball so that when I close my eyes, that's the thing that kind of shines through. It also adds like a really cool dimensional look and it makes your eyes look actually much bigger when you do this type of look. Now I'm excited about this look. You can tell. Now I'm just adding the two lightest colors on my brow bone and then just blending it out with the brush that I've been using before. It's not necessary, but I did it. So I'm using two foundations today. I'm using the Conceal and Perfect and the Face and Body. First, I'm starting with my primer though. I'm using the Baby Skin. The Baby Skin is such a nice primer. It really does mattify my face and it fills in some of my pores around my cheek area. So I really like using this really with any foundation, but in particular I like using it with the Milani and Face and Body because both of those are a little bit less forgiving on my skin than other foundations. So I'm laying on the Milani one first and I'm putting that pretty much on the center of my face, and then with the Face and Body, which is actually a deeper color, which is probably more of my color anyways, I'm going to bring that on the perimeter of my face to really blend it out and to just add some more like almost like a bronzy cream contour type of thing. This sponge wasn't that wet. I was extremely lazy this day, so I recommend to make sure that your sponge is absolutely damp. Now, moving on to my concealer area, I've been really liking the LA Girl Yellow Corrector. I only put just a teeny bit, literally I stamp it with my finger, and I actually use my fingers to blend it out. I think that it lays on my skin and my under eye area the best when I use my fingers. It just seems to layer with other concealers on top much better than if I were to use a beauty blender. Then what I'm using for my concealer is the L'Oreal True Match. The color that I'm using is in W4 to 5, and I'm putting it on top and then I'm spreading it out with a beauty blender. Again, make sure you wet the sponge because this one, I mean, it's from Real Techniques, not a beauty blender, but this one is not, and it does make a difference with how it spreads out. Sometimes I care, sometimes I don't, but right now I'm kind of like, ugh, I wish I did. Now, I was so happy because I got a refill of this powder. You can see sometimes my lighting changes. I don't do anything different. It's just like the way I don't know what it is. So ignore it if you think sometimes I look orange and sometimes I look pale. It's because of that. Anyways, now I'm going back to that Maybelline color tattoo and I'm brushing that really kind of flat and not close to my lash line underneath my eyes. This is going to bring like a really nice smoked out look. And then I'm just taking that same brush that I used before on my top and just blending it down. Don't be afraid to go so low where it almost is scary to you, because this look is really beautiful when it's nice and blown out. The concealer, the light concealer especially, will help kind of balance it and make it look nice and neat. For the brows, I decided to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills powder. This is in the color dark brown. The color, there's usually two colors. It broke, but now it's just one color. And then I'm really quickly just cleaning out my brows. I just used some of the remaining colored True Match from L'Oreal concealer, and I brushed that underneath my brows to try to crisp them up and make them look nice and sharp. Then I gave myself a quick curl, and I'm going to be layering a coat of mascara, and I'm also using these really big lashes. I believe they're from Eyelure. I couldn't tell you the number, but they're just old ones that I always reuse. Now I'm taking Hoola bronzer again, and I'm adding some dimension back into my mug, especially in the cheek area. But this is a really great bronzer. It's one of my favorites, and I really especially love using this brush to bronze my face. I just think when you smash it into your face, it makes it for a really good contour because it kind of molds into the shapes and the bone structure of your face. With my lighter face powder, you can use a translucent, but I just decided to use this face powder to kind of cut a little bit on the contour, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. You can brush this away, but this is a foundation, so you don't really have to. I'm just layering on my lashes. This was actually a really good lash day, and I'm not sure exactly why, but it was really exciting to capture it on film. So I'm putting both of those lashes on top, and then just make sure you get it really, really close to the lash line. I'm not using any eyeliner, but if it helps you to have a liner to kind of sit the lash on top of and to help guide your lash application, by all means, definitely go do that. Sometimes it helps me, sometimes it doesn't. So this was a lucky day. Now I'm using the same eyeliner I used before on my top waterline, and I'm using on my bottom lash line to add some more depth and kind of sultriness to my eye look. Don't forget to coat the bottom lash line with some mascara, especially because you want to balance out the top. You can totally add a pair of bottom lashes. I always forget to use those. This would have been a perfect time to do it, but I'll do another look with that at some point. Now with the blush, this is the color Outlaw. It's by Nars. It's a really great kind of berry color, and it has a few gold flecks in there, but you can hardly tell when you apply it. It's a really beautiful blush. So I'm using that on my cheekies. And then for the bronzer, or I should say highlight, I'm using Gold Deposit. So I'm going to layer a couple. I'm using Gold Deposit first, pretty much putting that all over the cheeks, not really rhyme or reason. I just want it all over so it has a nice shimmer to it. And then I'm layering on top of that some Soft and Gentle. Soft and Gentle, you can kind of target it a little bit more on the tips of your cheekbones, just so it has some almost like a highlighted effect. Like there's literally a flashlight just on the cheekbones. My lips are looking a little rusty, so I went in with an extreme lip color. I think this is in the color Skin Tone. I have to check it, but I'll put it and link it below. But that's pretty much the complete look.
Thanks so much for watching these videos. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Hopefully you learned something new, and if you have the palette, hopefully it gave you some ideas and some inspiration to use them. Don't forget, somebody asked me about the longevity of these eyeshadows. I did wear a look yesterday that I didn't film, and I wore it all day, and it looked just as shimmery from the beginning to the end of the night, which is a really good testament to the quality of the eyeshadows. There have been eye palettes where I've put it on the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day they look a little worn down, not so shimmery, a little lackluster. These are totally hold up to it. So all of this shimmer and shine and prettiness is going to stay at the end of the if you don't follow me on Snapchat, make sure you follow me on Snapchat. Hopefully you've already seen this by the point I upload this video. And also make sure that you're subscribing to my YouTube vlog channel, and I'll also put a link down below. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye!